Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Stretch Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Jared Chandler. This is the podcast where we stretch beyond our comfort zones and we learn something along the way. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. There's always hair on my nose or microphone. I'm drinking a Guinness and I'm wearing green. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Or St. Patrick's Week. Congratulations for making it this far. Cheers. Oh, yeah. We're doing it. We're feeling good. I had a great St. Patrick's Day. It was on Monday. Today is Wednesday when this is being released. It's actually Tuesday that I'm recording it because I'm a big procrastinator. And, yeah, it was fantastic. It was my 4-year anniversary with my lovely girlfriend. And we went to a pottery class, if you can believe it. And it was so fun. It was fabulous. I made 3 things. I'm an overachiever. You're only supposed to make 2, but I made 3. Okay, I made sure I made 3 because I had the time that they gave us. So I made a cup, and I'm going to glaze it black. And then I made a vase, which I'm going to glaze. It just said WW on it, but it's like this eggshell looking color, and it actually looks like an eggshell. It's got like the dots on it and stuff. And then I made, what was the third thing? It was a cup, or it was like a little bowl. It's a little bowl. I was originally going for the vase, but then like I kept messing up, so I just like kind of squished it down and then just like formed a little bowl. And that's gonna be Nebby's little treat bowl. So, and I'm glazing that green. So yeah, it was a good time. It was very fun. I could definitely see myself picking up pottery as a hobby. Me and my girlfriend doing pottery. It was that fun. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, check these out. You notice these? You notice these little doodads over here? I got 3 of them. I got all kinds of fake plants now, and I'm squeezing them into frame as much as I possibly can. Yeah, I got them at Joann's last weekend. R.I.P. Joann's. Pour one out for Joanne. Yeah, we went in on Saturday. I got a big old quilt fabric. It was crazy expensive. You wouldn't think that fabric would be that expensive. It's just raw fabric. But it's a quilt pattern. It's like it's got a lot of colors in it, and it's like got an interface layer. And I'm gonna use it to make a quilt out of all my old t-shirts. I got them on the ground here. I gotta cut them up, turn them into a quilt. I'll show you guys when it's all done. It's gonna be sick. I'm trying to make it big. I'm trying to make it real big. So I got like, I don't know. It was 2 different pieces, but I got like 5 yards of fabric or something like that. So yeah, that was cool. And then I got these things. I got these little dangly things. I think it'll make it look good on the pod. So. Yeah, very exciting times these days. I just got off a new talent night. That's why I'm in such a good mood. I went to New Talent Night on tonight at Comedy Works downtown. If you're not familiar, that's where any person can sign up on the website at comedyworks.com. You can make a profile, and then you just sign up every single week until you get a spot. And I had a good set tonight. It felt really good. I was in the pocket. I got the light, and I was at the last quarter of this bit that I'm doing right now, and I got, I was like, oh fuck, so I sped it up really fast. I was like, and I just said a bunch of words, and I closed it out strong, but I was definitely like, oh fuck, I hope my mic doesn't get cut. And I got a lot of daps and fist bumps after the show, so I'm feeling good, folks. I'm feeling good. I'm having this was the Guinness I was supposed to have on St. Patrick's Day, but I didn't feel like having one on Monday. We went after the pottery. We went to dinner, and I had 1 drink there and a lot of food, and it was everything I needed and wanted, so I didn't have another one. But tonight I'm feeling good, so I'm having this tonight. Anywho, folks, if you're joining us, we have a very special episode for you. This episode is 3 friends of mine. They are filmmakers, and they are very talented folks. I filmed this episode, I recorded this episode in December, I believe. Yeah, I think it was December. So I've been sitting on it for a minute now. These are the 3 people from the Field of Screams crew. And Field of Screams, as some of you know, is the movie that my very good friends over in this crew produced, and I was an actor in it. And guys, it's coming out very soon. It's coming out fast. It's coming out April 10th at the Oriental Theater in Denver, and then it's coming out April 24th at the Lyric in Fort Collins. Also, take a look at the Instagram page. We're going, or I should say, they are going to Des Moines, Iowa, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California. Ever heard of it? So it's pretty exciting. I unfortunately won't be able to go to the road tour dates. I was bummed that I couldn't go to those. I mean, as of right now, I'm not going unless some miracle happens. And I find a gig in Des Moines, Iowa on the Friday before we're supposed to be there for the film screening. But regardless, I'm going to go on the road at some point this year to do stand-up. And the film is very good, and you guys should check it out. My guests today are Alix Moad, Evan Runkle, and Kyle. Don't remember your last name, Kyle. Sorry. Sorry, Kyle. But yeah, we had a great time filming this episode. I keep saying filming because I filmed it originally, but I got some bad news, folks. I was using a corrupted SD card 3 months ago for my audio recording, which is not a huge deal if you're just listening to the audio, because what happens is every like 15 minutes or so, it will have a writing error on the card, which I was unaware of. I guess I was kind of aware of, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, I thought it only did it sometimes, but it turns out it did it every time, which is it's a problem, because then it would just like cut out like a couple of seconds, not even anything, not too much to be concerned about, but a couple of seconds will go out. And for the Joe Hughesman episode with Second Chance Comedy, I was very adamant about getting the video on the episode. So I sat there and I edited, and I found where the little beats were, where all of a sudden the faces and the lips got missynced to the sound. But that took a long time. So unfortunately, I do not have the time or the means to do this with this episode. So today's episode is only audio. I apologize for that, folks, but for the time being and going forward, we are rocking and rolling. I got plenty of I got SD cards coming out of my ear holes. So, yeah, guys, we got the film coming up. I'm going to be doing stand-up at Verboten Brewing Company in Loveland on March 26th. It's a Wednesday next week. And then the next day, I'm going to be at 222 Brew. I don't know I think it's a coffee shop, but that's in Aurora. It's a Thursday, March 27th. And then the week after that, I'm going to be at Ha-Ha's and Hatchets. It's at a hatchet throwing place in Loveland. I'm sure there's only probably one. So if you would like to come to that one, please Google it, because I forget the name of the venue. But it's April 3rd. It's going to be very fun, where we throw hatchets and there's like sticky notes around. And then it gives you stand-up topics to talk about. So you go back and you write, and then you come back on stage and you tell jokes about the things that you threw the hatchet at. So I'm very excited for that one. So please, folks, without further ado, please help me welcome my guests, Alix, Evan, and Kyle.
Stretch yourself, stretch yourself, stretch yourself.
You said you were sitting there.
I don't want to assume.
Hey, Jared,
Alix
what's the
said you were
rules?
gonna walk.
What are the rules with swearing on this podcast? Can we swear? Okay, cool.
Thank fucking God.
You're supposed to save that question for in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
No, we can swear. We can say ass and titties. We can say.
Do we
Nice.
look at
Yeah.
you? Do we look at the? Do we go?
We look at each other.
Hey.
Yeah, we're having a conversation.
We're having a
Okay.
Yeah, but if you
cool.
want to look at if you want to make a point, if you want to, you know,
This guy.
yeah,
That's when I said.
yeah. Kyle, how'd you get wrangled into the movie?
So I started working in a movie theater, And then
Which movie theater?
Metrolux in Loveland.
Okay.
Shout out Metrolux, bankrupt.
Oh yeah, are they now?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going pretty bad.
Oh no.
They just canned the entire kitchen, is what I learned while filming something. there.
Right before Christmas.
Right, yeah, just in time for Christmas.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no.
It's a rough situation over there.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a common. Have we talked to Randy about Cinemark yet?
Oh God, no.
I don't know. I haven't either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like,
But
oh,
I'm
no,
like,
what did you
I'm like,
do?
we should
Yeah.
check in.
I
see
talked
if
to
Yeah.
Randy about this one already.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
You got the scoop. Yeah.
I got to inside. I know people.
Yeah.
Kyle keeps tabs on all the theater chains. He's like, how bad a job are y'all doing?
Sounds like something I do, honestly.
Trying to do a Big Short where
Oh, nice,
where
nice.
thousands of people losing their livelihood. Big win for me.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
Right, Kyle,
You could just
stop
be-
your ass.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm screwed.
Yeah. You could just be any billionaire. You could be a healthcare CEO.
Yeah.
I heard that's
It's a dangerous
Safe job. Safe
I hear that
Work
goes
these
really
days.
well. Yeah,
I
yeah.
just learned about an opening.
Yeah, I think you got a spot. I think you have a chance, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you wanna
I know
work
lots
your way
about
up.
Healthcare, I think.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know exactly what not to do.
Do you guys think that like a lot of movie theaters are in jeopardy of that, or like what do you think it takes for them to survive?
I mean, Evan, you've got the technical answer for this, I think, from working at a movie theater longer than any of us have.
I mean, how long did Kyle work at a movie theater? We might be like,
Like less than a year.
Really?
Yeah.
alright, I got Kyle slightly beat.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think they'll stick around. I think it'll change though.
Yeah.
It'll be very limited hours. Like they're only open.
Yeah, like a couple days a week.
Yeah, a couple
like a
days a
bar.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be
Like-
like a bar where it's open.
Yeah, and then like only at night kind of thing,
Yeah.
like or something. I don't know. Yeah, because almost like probably most movies I go and see, there's very few people there unless it's like the opening weekend of like a really big something. Then there might be people there. Like I remember, I think Barbie, there was people there. And what other movies have I seen recently?
hey, I got the
Exposed.
list.
Yeah. I don't know. What I'm sure there's more, but like a handful, there'll be like a handful of people there. But like a lot of times I'll go to something and there'll be nobody there.
I gotta say, I feel like whenever I go to movies at like bigger theaters, that's the case.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm catching something at like a local theater, an art house theater, like I
Mm.
feel like there's a pretty reliable
Really?
audience, unless it's something like really weird or
Yeah.
a big movie that's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like independent theaters still have like a pretty good like niche and have a pretty good like audience. Like people still care about going to the movies,
Yeah.
but I think like big chains that have like overhead and have employees and have a lot more costs to deal with, I think are definitely struggling more.
Yeah, that makes sense, honestly. Yeah. Like the Lyric and like the Crest and Greeley maybe. I mean, they're still
Yeah.
going. They've been around for a while. They made it
Yeah.
through COVID and stuff, so
Yeah, exactly. Like not that like they don't have struggles, like obviously like I'm sure that's a tough business to
Yeah.
run as like a small theater, but like anywhere I've lived, there's been such a dedicated like audience for like small independent theaters.
yeah.
Even in like bumfuck Iowa.
Really?
Yeah, like anywhere there's a local theater in Iowa, like there are people who are dedicated to like going to that theater and making sure it like stays afloat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, a lot of local places I know, like they like even in Greeley, there's like I go around the corner to do barking, or like I'll be barking to get people into my show because it'll be like I'll go down there's like 15 minutes of showtime. It's like, oh, nobody here. Okay, well let's see if we can get somebody in. And so I'll go outside. There's nobody outside, and then like sometimes like I'll go across the street and there'll be people at Gentry's, but a lot of times I'll go around the street or around the corner to 477, and they're like a local place that like has a really strong following, and like I'll walk in there, they're having jazz night and it's packed. I'm like, for jazz? Like
Sunday night jazz night, Crown Pub in town.
Yo.
dude, like I
actually
didn't know
not-
jazz was such a huge thing. Like
Gotta do a career change.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I just need to learn how to play the standing
Yeah.
bass or
You just gotta get a
something.
doctorate in jazz. That's all those guys. I'm not even
Doctorate.
kidding. Like they actually have doctorates in jazz.
I believe it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, man, you made like $8 doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know it's your passion, but like that hurts me a little
You
bit.
probably didn't have to get a doctorate. Though.
No, I was like,
Yeah.
man, like
Do you think when they're on a plane and like an emergency's happening and someo's like, "Is there a doctor on the plane?"
Well, I have my doctorate in jazz
Yeah,
studies.
did they raise their hand?
Yeah. I don't know, but it bothers me because I don't know what it is about these jazz folks, but I wish they would come to more comedy shows. But no, they're cool. But that's just something I noticed is just like I know the owner, and like he used to be worship leader at I go in there, I see people I know like all the time from like back in the day, and like I don't know, there's just something about like if you know the owner and like you have a relationship with the business, then like you'll keep coming back. Yeah. Well, anywho, I wanted to ask you guys about this movie you guys are making. Why don't you explain to the audience what it is and kind of like just a short little breakdown of it, synopsis of it.
Yeah. So Evan and I are the writers and directors of Field of Screams. Field of Screams is a like horror comedy about a group of friends that goes to a farmhouse and they run across a killer scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, very like teen slashery, interpersonal drama, but also, has a little heart to it. Kyle was our amazing on-set audio engineer and our post-production sound mixing lead. And Jared, you were starring in the film.
I know, yeah, my first one. I couldn't believe it.
Hell yeah, man.
Can't believe we pulled it off. That's crazy.
The secret is none of us can believe it.
Yeah, a lot of things I found out is just like you just figure it out as you go.
As you go, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what if I told you I'm not even a sound guy?
Yeah. he's just been there like pretending to be the sound guy.
I just was like standing there and I was like,
He's
you know this
practicing.
sound? I was like, sure, why not?
I don't know what any of these dials do. I don't
Some of these words, yeah.
Kyle, we good? He's like, sure.
It might be.
It might be. I don't know.
Let's
None of this is on.
Yeah.
So wait. So you were working at the movie theater, and then you were working at the movie theater
Yes, but he and I did not work at the movie theater at the same time.
at the same time. Okay. So that's how you found out about it.
Yes. Calvin
Calvin was working there.
was working there at the same time. We got to know each other.
Not
kinda hit it
pictured
off.
Calvin. We'll just
Yeah,
put his
not
face
pictured.
like up.
Do like
Here's
a
the worst
quick,
picture of Calvin.
a quick like black and white photo, so it looks like he died.
Yeah, it's
R.I.P.
in loving.
Calvin.
It just says in loving.
Yeah,
memory.
Calvin, in loving memory. Yeah.
But I met him. We kind of hit it off. Most of my background, what I do is like in music-related audio. I do a lot of audio post-production for songs,
Mhm.
but Calvin needed someone to do sound in a movie, and I was like, well, it's don't tell anyone I told you this, but you kind of just point a microphone at what you're trying to record, and that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just been working with him a little more closely since.
Wow. That's awesome. Nice. So what was like for Alix and Evan, like what was like the original inspiration for this type of genre, like this story, and like what brought you guys together? Because for me, like when I start getting more into like the creative side of things, like for example, like if I'm editing like a reel or something for stand up or for like a promotional thing for the show, like for some reason that's like way harder for me to make those decisions of editing than it is for me to be like, oh, here's the podcast, like it just has to sound good and look good and like just tweak it here and there. But like when I'm actually making creative choices, like that was difficult. So what's that kind of like behind the scenes for that?
Yeah, so I think the start was we kind of just wanted to write a feature. We'd done a lot of shorts together already. We're like, gosh, okay. A lot of our shorts have been horror movies. What haven't we seen in a while?
Mm-hmm.
Sure haven't seen a lot of scarecrows. And then that was the basis of the movie. And then I brought in a lot of memories from being on my grandparents' farm,
Mm-hmm.
which is where a lot of the fun farm stuff was coming in. Alix brought a lot of the inner character drama.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Yeah, a lot of real life went into it. COVID happened kind of right as we were starting writing. So
Wow.
yeah.
So this is like a 4 or 5 year process.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
make it all happen.
We wrote this when we lived in Iowa, and we moved to Colorado in 2021. So yeah, we'd had the script kind of sitting for about 4 or 5 years before we went into post-production, and like obviously working on it through that time. But yeah, like we'd been working on this for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So like what was it like the choices you made to like include parts from like your childhood and stuff where you're like I want this, like the house to kind of be reminiscent of it, but like I'm not gonna include the part where my grandpa spanked me or something like that. You know, like what was it like choosing like different things from, or like in like the interpersonal drama and stuff, because
Yeah.
like you don't want anybody to watch and be like, Alex, that was us.
What the hell?
What the hell? That was us. We did that. I don't want to give anything away. We did that thing one time.
Yeah, as far as with like the base plot, the reason that they're all on the farm is one of the lead's grandparents has passed, and they kind of have to go and clean the thing out. And when I was a kid, something that we had to do when my grandpa passed, my grandma was not taking care of a whole farm by herself, so she moved into town, and as part of that, we just kind of had to help her clear the whole farm out, and it was a lot. So a lot of that just
This is in Iowa?
Yeah, this was in Iowa.
Okay.
Right near the Missouri border.
Yeah.
And then the character in the movie, the main character's grandpa that ends up passing, I think a lot of the character traits I based on my grandma as well. Pretty kooky. She was into a lot of the backwoods hill folk magic kind of stuff that ends up in the movie as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that stuff came in. I brought a lot of the bumpkin stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, the interpersonal stuff was really interesting because we're both really big horror fans.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to make this kind of like a slasher movie in the structure and in the beats and like what happens in the story. And a big part of slasher movies is the interpersonal drama.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both were like pretty tired of just watching a movie, seeing a group of people get together and just going like, why the hell do any of these people hang out? Like they all hate each other.
Yeah.
And you kind of need that for drama and to keep things interesting.
Sure.
And so a lot of what we were doing was trying to like ride the line between like what is a relatable reason for someone to be upset, like what is what are small things in people's relationships that tend to come up at like the most inopportune times, especially when you get a bunch of people together. Like I know I've had people whose like, main focus is just having fun, partying. The minute something gets weird, they're just like, hey, who wants to like do shots?
Yeah.
Hey,
Totally.
can we like not do this right now? And that was a big inspiration for a couple of the characters. The character Calvin ended up playing has a big thing with like not being a big fan of our lead's boyfriend, played by you. And that came kind of directly from my own life of often being the friend that is like, hey, I don't know what you're doing with this person. I don't know why you're dating them. I don't know why this is happening. Which is something I grew out of, but like I made that decision because I'd been that person and I knew how annoying that could be and I knew how much friction that could cause for people, which was really nice to be able to give to Calvin as like to help him with the character, because Calvin is not like that.
Yeah,
Calvin
totally.
will not sit you down and say, hey, you shouldn't be dating them. You should be making better decisions. But yeah, and then the two main characters are really interesting because we still wanted there to be friction and we wanted it to be interesting, but we also wanted Alan and Justin, our main characters, we wanted people to like not wonder why they were together. Like we wanted it to make sense that they were in a relationship. We wanted them to actually like each other. And
you hadn't seen that in other movies.
No. I always feel like even in slasher movies where like a group of friends feels like a group of friends, like there's like usually like the girlfriend that everybody hates. And that was the character for a while.
Yeah, that was one of my questions was like, could you talk more about my character and the choice to change to a boy?
Yeah, that works in really well. So for the longest time, we had Alan and Jessica were our main characters. And they were, you know, together, and they went to the farm, and Jessica's kind of whole thing was just feeling uncomfortable with being there, because we were trying to really ride the line of like, what's a relatable and like empathetic reason for somebody to not want to be around, and provide some conflict and some friction, but also like not like grave enough that it is like rivaling Alan grieving his grandfather.
Right.
So like we didn't want to give her.
It's okay.
Okay, cool. We didn't want to give her like a really dramatic, really like traumatic background that would be like, oh, something horrible happened to her at a farm, because we didn't want to take like the spotlight away from Alan. But we couldn't really find something that worked super well that was like understandable for her to be, you know, kind of an ass the whole time.
Yeah.
But then we also didn't want her just following him around and going, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
I love you so much. Oh, it's your friends. Hi.
Yeah.
So it was, we were looking at casting, like we were in casting decisions. And at that point we were trying to cast a female comedian, because we knew this part was going to be hard to empathize with. Because we had a hard time empathizing with her as the people that wrote her. We're like, we need someone who can like bring a little humor and like get people on their side. And so we were preparing to go into it with that and kind of have to give somebody this job of like making this character a little bit more empathetic and palatable. And then like I remember one day, Evan, like you like got out of a shower and you just like came out and you're like, hey, what if Alan's gay? And I just like remember looking at you like
shower thought.
Yeah. Shower thought. Little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh God. But I was like, okay, yeah. What if? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, sure, we can talk about that. Do you want to write like fanfic or something? Like, what is this?
Of a movie you haven't made yet.
But he was like, no. Like, what if he has a boyfriend and his boyfriend's not comfortable being like on a farm because, you know, in rural places, you know, gay kids don't have a lot of good experiences. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You found the thing. And that was really cool because it kind of let me put myself into the script a lot more than I had previously. Because I had to do an entirely new draft because it changed the way that Alan and now Justin interacted.
Yeah.
It changed.
So you had to rewrite like that whole character basically?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a whole character rewrite. I had to go through and like do things as simple as like, you know, name changes and pronoun changes, but then also just like they had to have different arguments and, you know, the way that they interacted changed a little bit. But what was really cool was like getting to do that draft and then, you know, when trying to figure out how to fill Justin out and like what to make this character, I got to put a lot of myself in him. I grew up in like Southeast Iowa. I came out as bi when I was in like high school. And so I am not comfortable in like rural small town places because I have a lot of bad experiences tied to those places. And I'm used to not being like super accepted or super comfortable in those places. And so I got to just kind of write about that. And that was really nice and it was really cool and it felt so much more natural than just having someone walk around going, this place is gross, where's the Starbucks? I can't believe I can't like get any cell service out here. Ugh, nasty.
Yeah.
Black coffee, gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to put some of myself into the character. And that was cool because I got to put some of myself into his interactions with Alan's friends, as someone who like had to enter into a friend group when they started dating somebody. Like Evan had a really well established friend group when we started dating.
Yeah.
And having to figure that out and having to kind of learn how to get along with like a bunch of new people who have known each other for years.
Totally.
I got to kind of play around with that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I was interested when you told me that because I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. that really makes like my character a lot more like easy to like relate to, but also like you know, you hate me just enough.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I guess we'll keep him around, you know.
I gotta be honest with you, like it's a pretty even split so far between like the few people who've watched the movie, like because people will take sides. Yeah, they'll be like either on Alan's side or they'll be on Justin's side.
Good.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
like,
we want.
Yeah, and I was totally, by the time we got done filming, honestly, I was like, I was originally scared people were gonna like hate Justin. And we got done filming, and between your performance and, you know, Jordan's performance, who played Alan, I was like, I'm so afraid people are going to hate Alan, because how could they not love Justin? Like, how could they not love this guy?
That's funny. It's Team Alan and Team Justin.
So,
yeah,
team,
dude.
Team Jacob, Team Edward.
Yeah, Team Jacob, Team Edward. Except
Hell
you're
yeah.
rooting for different people in a relationship
I'm
together.
going to get t-shirts made.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
That's awesome. What was one thing that... what was one thing you wish you knew before directing a feature and creating the whole thing? And then like on the equipment side as well, like what's one thing that you wish you knew before jumping into it?
Oh, okay. Man, I wish I knew how to do sound. So
Never gets old.
Yeah, I love making that joke to them. One thing I have learned with sound, again, so whether I predominantly work in a recording studio, I've done like live sound for, like bands in like medium to smaller venues, did like a small tour. Always happens with audio is that stuff does not work ever. And it's like the only thing you can count on is that something's going to go wrong. So just kind of, I guess, I don't know why I thought doing a movie would be any different. I was like, there's going to be problems. There's always going to be challenges, but that's part of what makes it really fun, in my opinion, is you have to be, it's really a mixture of very technical thinking alongside creative problem solving. And that's kind of, I feel like, characterizes working in sound in a lot of ways, because it is very technical, numbers based, like, 0 dB loud, whatever it may be. But you also have to be kind of okay with thinking outside of the box of like, how are we going to solve this problem?
Yeah.
And like, how are you going to create different sounds?
A spider has joined our midst.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kyle. Hey, you have a guest, Kyle?
That's actually my pet.
Oh, that's your pet?
Yeah.
I think
He just
Evan's
does
like
that.
really fucking freaked out by your
I don't know
pet.
enough about spiders here. Is this one that, like, if it bites me, I won't be able to use my blood or something?
Yeah.
No, this is the one that'll turn you into Spider-Man.
Well, shit.
Yeah, get it on
He's
here.
radioactive.
Like, is this a regular spider, or do I gotta be scared?
No, he's
I don't know.
radioactive. I keep microwaving him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's still here.
He's sturdy. He's well built.
Dang.
They don't make 'em like
You got
that anymore.
radioactive spiders running around here. Microwaved spiders.
Microwaved spider.
It's one of the
He's got
microwave
cold
babies.
spots, though.
Yeah, I just feed him.
Yeah.
I feed him batteries. And
Ooh.
microwave him and stuff. Yeah.
So, Kyle, can you think of like a specific example where you had to do creative problem solving?
So there's one scene, and I can tell by your face you know exactly which one I'm talking about. So we're doing a wide shot, and so wide shot, I got to be I can't get as close as I'd like to be because it's a wide shot, and I'm going to be in it,
Right.
and no one likes to look at me. It's so the solution we found was to essentially have me hang out of a second-story window.
Oh, nice.
Which we had.
I don't know if I was there for this.
I don't think you were.
Yeah, there's some fun pictures. So I'll have to. I don't know.
Yes.
If
Okay.
But so what we did is we had Alix and Sam pictured here. Maybe pictured here. I'm not editing this. I don't know.
Black and white picture in loving memory.
Yeah, in loving memory of Sam.
Everyone
Still,
keeps dying for real on this
like,
set.
well, we can't have a loving memory of the mother alive.
Yeah. We really committed to these shots.
Yeah.
They really died.
But I had both of them like sit on my legs, and like Sam was like holding my belt as I just like hung out the window and like stretched
Whoa.
and reached as far as I could with the boom pole.
Was this
like-
at the barn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was like holding like a plank, like, and you look down, it's like, that would suck to fall from here.
Yeah.
And, like slowly like working across the scene and like
Yeah.
trying to pull myself back up when they walk in.
Yeah. Because that was.
that took some creativity.
Yeah.
We tried it a few times where in more of like a run and gun style thing where I like work along with the camera, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
So it
because
was a moving shot too.
it
right?
was, yeah. That's what was like extra hard about it, because wide shots are hard for sound guys anyway. Anyone doing sound.
Yeah.
Because you have to hide them somewhere, and the wider your shot is, like, the less options you have to just keep them right out of frame and keep them close. But what was extra hard is we were like following two characters, so the characters were walking towards the camera, and the camera was constantly moving back. So we tried a few times where it was just you walking alongside the camera, and you're like, this is dog shit. I can't do this.
Did not sound
Just a lot of
good.
crunching and
Yeah.
walking sounds.
So we
Just me out of.
yeah.
we like look up at the barn, and we're like, there's a window up there. And I'm looking over at Kyle, this dude I met like 2 months ago. I'm like, hey, man.
Yeah,
Hey.
I think at that point in time, I'd only met y'all like a handful
No,
of times.
yeah. And it was like very professional. We had like met up at coffee shops and been
Yeah.
like, hey, so this is what we have for you. We're going to send you the contract. Are you free for these days?
Yeah.
Cool.
Man, I should've
This
read
is going to
that
be your like
contract.
gas reimbursement. Yeah, you missed the hanging out of a barn window part.
There's
So
all
like,
clause on that. Yeah.
so like
Your
it's
safety
maybe
is
the
expendable.
exactly. It's maybe the 5th time I've met you, and
Yeah.
like I'm like, hey, can you like go up in the bar? Do you feel comfortable with that? And you're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. We get up there. I'm like, hey, I don't mean to be weird, but like I'm really worried you're gonna fall, so I'm gonna have to like sit on you, and I'm gonna have to get Sam to come over and
Yeah.
sit on you.
There's like two people sitting on like my legs.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It worked out great.
just to like keep you in place.
Yeah.
And like
Here.
and you're here.
I didn't fall.
Didn't
You
fall.
Yeah.
The audio, we had to ADR most of it
Yeah,
anyway, but
most of it was, yeah.
most of it was unusable,
And
but
it was
that's
all
okay.
for nothing, too, yeah.
But we
But-
learned something.
Yeah.
I learned,
We learned what your limits were.
read the contract.
Nice.
But no, that was fun, and there's lots of examples just like where am I going to hide in this shot?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Location sound at least, and there's plenty of challenges we're going to face as we continue to work through post. But it'd be weirder if there wasn't
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
going on. I'd be like, what's this? Like, why is nothing on fire? You know?
Yeah, because that would mean that like you
Like,
didn't
something's-
record something.
Yeah, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And that's scarier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you like learned like with the equipment where you're like, so for example, like the other night I was shooting a show at Moxie, and I always struggle with getting a wide shot of the room with like the audience and like the comic who was like not overexposed, and I like switched it over to like shutter priority, and it like made it so the comedian was like lit up, and you could tell there was audience members in there. They weren't as lit up as I wanted them to be, but like you could tell they were in there, and then the comic wasn't like overexposed. So like stuff like that. But that was like oh, like that's what this is for. Like that's what this is. I can use this because like I always knew about it, but I was like, when would I use that though in this context? You know?
One thing for me, and I kind of as I got deeper into location sound. So my background again mostly in recording music.
Yeah.
So shotgun mics were not something I had a ton of experience with beyond like basic handling for like stationary shots that are more like a public broadcast style presentation. But having and it's something I'm working on expanding to, is having a different selection of shotgun mics that are better suited for different situations.
Interesting.
It's kind of something I hadn't really considered. I was like, shotgun mic's a shotgun mic, but there's definitely having the right tools make the job easier. So having different microphones suited for whether it's like I know I'm going to be 10 feet away from them, having a microphone that's better focused and more directional, better at picking up sound that's 6 to 8 feet away from it, as opposed to something that's like, say we're hypothetically shooting in this room.
Yeah.
Like I can't be 6 to 8 feet above them because the ceiling, it's only 8 feet. So there's definitely different equipment that is better suited for situations. That was something I learned, kind of still learning, and probably will continue to learn. for the remainder.
Yeah,
of, my
definitely.
days doing
Yeah,
it.
it's always evolving.
but
Yeah.
it's part of the fun. I love gear, so it's,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, me too. You got a lot of it too.
It's some people
You can't
call
see
it
it. There's 100 mic stands on the other side of this camera.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, Kyle,
Yeah.
what's your address again, so people know like if they want to stop by,
if you
grab
want to rob
something?
me.
Yeah. Can you say that on mic right
my
now?
uninsured equipment is located at.
If you have a garage sale, I want the pre-sale. Like,
Pre-sale,
yeah. Let me know
It's like,
before you
here's
do
the
it.
good stuff.
Yeah. What about you guys? Is there like something you wish you knew, or something that you kind of learned on the job?
In some ways, knowing everything that we know now, we probably just wouldn't have done it.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
Glad I'm working hard in post.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing though, like going through it, you have to learn it.
Right.
And now we know it, so we'll be good in the future.
Right.
So it's probably for the best
Yeah.
that we did not know. There's a lot of paperwork all the time, a lot of legal stuff all the time, a lot of costs that you're like, well, that's a surprise. A lot of just new stuff every day kind of pops up, and you're like, okay, yeah, I guess another thing.
Yeah.
But a big thing through the process, I think, was learning working with other people that are way better at something than you are, and figuring out how you can help them help you.
Yeah.
I guess was kind of. It was more of a philosophical change that this movie gave than anything, I think.
Yeah.
I like that. Talk more about that.
Speak on that.
Yeah.
Kyle's good at stuff.
Like
and I don't know how to do a lot of the things Kyle was doing.
Yeah, totally.
When I'm pretty used to, like, on our short films we would often do, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do that job too. I'd have like a boom pole run through my belt.
Right.
The boom hanging over me as I have the camera in my hands. I'm like, this is fine.
Well, I remember when a big thing was like you come from like primarily like camera and lighting is like a big thing for you, and we had someone doing lighting. Like her job was just to do lighting, Dorothea, and I remember it's like so many times. Pictured here, black and white.
Loving memory.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna get you in trouble. But like, there'd be so many times where like your like automatic thing was like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna help you," and she's like, "The thing you can do to help me is do your job, man. I'm good."
Yep.
Yeah, very grandmotherly, having to be like, "Get away!" Like slap my hands. Like, fair, you're right. This is your job, and you're better at it than I am, so I'll let you work.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard. Like, is there anything I wish I'd known? Because like you said, like, if I had known stuff, it would have made the whole process of like doing it for the first time a lot more intimidating, weirdly.
Yeah, 100%.
But like getting to the other side of it, you're like, okay, so now for next time it's going to be easier because I already did all that.
Right.
But it's that weird space that you're in.
Yeah, just the figuring out like the legal stuff and the paperwork stuff, that's the intimidating thing to me for a lot of things like that. You know,
Yes.
like I feel like you know, like I can learn I can experiment with like lighting or something, right? But like you got to get the paperwork right.
Yeah, if you get that one wrong.
No, you can experiment with paperwork. Yeah, try it out.
Read those contracts
just
again,
ask
you guys.
Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, read the contract.
Read the contract. No, but like I something I do wish I had known before like directing this was like how
There's gonna be hair on
I'm
those
trying
mic
to
guards.
speak, Kyle. My God.
I also just noticed the ones on yours too.
Oh God.
My dog
This is
in-
so
infects everything.
unprofessional.
I know,
Oh my
dude.
God.
It's a rubber band just wrapped around.
I don't know. And this is like more of like a personal thing. I think both of our answers are going to be like weirdly philosophical and like not very technical. But that's also because like you're asking about directing,
Yeah.
and like directing is this weird place where like you do a lot of decision making, and you like, so your hands are in a lot of different pots. You're like interacting with a lot of different technical departments, but like what you're doing is so enigmatic and weird that like a lot of the lessons I took away at least tend to be kind of enigmatic and weird. And I wish I had known like how okay it was for me to like mess up or like make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because and that was something I tried to prepare myself for going in, because I knew I was gonna struggle with that, because I'm really bad at making mistakes. I don't like doing that.
Yeah. No,
Can anyone relate to that?
Yeah.
I know that might be like a hot take. But it was I didn't realize like going on set like how gracious everyone was going to be, and like how forgiving everyone was going to be, and like understanding. And I had very much gotten in my head of like, okay, I need to be on top of it all the time. I need to be perfect all the time, so that like no one has to worry about me, so that no one has to worry about what I'm doing. And that's a way to direct for sure. It's not like the best way to direct your first feature film with like a pretty big cast and like for our size, a decent crew. Like we had a pretty good crew. And so I just wish I had known not to put like that pressure on myself, and like given myself the freedom to mess up a little bit more, because I feel like there were definitely times where that pressure kind of made me like freeze and like not, handle something the way I wanted to, or not handle something as quickly as I wanted to.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. I feel like, especially when you've been working up to something for a long time, you're like, it has to be perfect. It has to be like exactly how I wanted it. And like that can make you kind of like question things that maybe we're already sure of at one point. Like I'm getting ready to like, I want to do like 45 minutes on stage is like what I'm working up to. I could do 30 pretty comfortably, but like getting up to that 45 or like an hour is like intimidating. And I'm like making choices of like, all right, what else do I want to talk about? And like, how personal do I want it to be? And like all this, and I'm considering a lot of like different audiences and stuff, cause like a lot of times I'm just doing it for strangers, and you can, it feels more comfortable to say something more, like risky or whatever. But then like, oh, my aunt's going to come to the show. Like, should I say the same jokes in the same way, Like, so it's like kind of thinking about that a lot too. So I get like the pressure part of it, and like that fight or flight or freeze response to that for sure. Yeah. And that was kind of like, that also kind of goes into my other thing, which is like, how did the film come out to, and compare to how you envisioned it?
That's such an interesting question. That's a really good question. Do you want to start on this at all?
Stalling, so I can go ahead and answer.
No, I'm not. I just think it's really funny, because that's like the main thing we talk about with this is like how it changed, and like how different it is from like where it started.
Yeah, I'll say we definitely initially wrote a goofier movie. A little silly. We're like, people shouldn't take this serious. Yeah, an extremely goofy movie. And then we're like, oh no, someone else wrote this already.
Fuck! Dang it! What if Goofy had his own movie?
Let alone
what if it was his son? Oh fuck! No, are you kidding me? I'm not dreaming, right?
Oh my god!
Well, scrap that one.
Scrap it. Put it in the
Try
garbage.
again tomorrow, I guess.
Square one.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
You gotta be serious.
I just love the idea of like you waking up one day and being like, what if we wrote this movie? And you're like, it's the Goofy movie. You're like, oh fuck.
He comes out of the shower. He's like, babe, Goofy in a movie.
Man, you gotta quit thinking in the shower.
You gotta. I don't want to know what's going on in
You're
there
not even
anymore.
coming out clean.
You're just wet and stressed now, man.
That's how I live my life, Kyle.
Wet and stressed.
Wet and stressed. Here we go. I think literally up until the character of Jessica became the character of Justin. I think it was like incredibly unserious, because no one except for the main character had any like, I hate to say like real problems, but like real problems. Like no one, like even as it is
There's
now.
not enough booze in the house.
Yeah, the problems are like, where's the booze? I want to party. Everyone's being so serious right now.
Yeah.
I hate your partner. They really annoy me. My partner's being a pain in the ass. Like those
These
are the kinds
pizza
of
rolls
problems.
are terrible.
These pizza rolls are bad.
Actually, pretty good. We can't.
They were really
besmirch
good.
them.
Those were
that's true. Yeah.
those were an on-set
we ate 'em up.
snack, and they were
Yeah.
delicious.
Pizza roll companies cut the check.
Pizza rolls, pizza
Yeah.
rolls.
Sponsor the movie.
Sponsor the podcast.
Sponsor
at
the
least.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, up until Jessica was rewritten as Justin, like it was incredibly unserious. And even at that point, I think it still would have changed because at that point, we had still cast Alan as well. We were talking about casting Alan as Jordan, and you know, and what Jordan brought to it, I don't think would have changed that much. But once we, you know, introduced Justin instead of Jessica, like suddenly there's another character who like has some like very real things to wrestle with while everyone around is kind of just fucking around.
Yeah, totally.
And so like it made every interaction that character had a little bit more serious. It made the interactions that Alan and him had like more serious than they would have been. And then we got on set and like the first day went really well. The first day we had like, I mean, they all went really well, especially for like
the movie's done,
a
so
film
they
set.
went well
Yeah,
enough.
it went well. But like, you know, the first day we had Bill who was playing Alan's grandpa Alistair. We had Randy doing his first day as the Scarecrow, and then we had Jordan on set doing a couple scenes as Alan. And then the second day we just had you two. We had you and Jordan just doing a lot of the Alan and Justin scenes together, which was really cool because it was like the first time you guys had met in person.
Yeah.
Which was like crazy. We
Yeah,
like
that's
threw
true.
you guys
Yeah, we
into
just
it.
met on Zoom.
That
Yeah.
sounds tough, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not mad.
Whew. But like I remember the second I knew the movie was going to be like really different, and I talk about this all the time, so I'm sure Evan knows what I'm talking about. But there's a scene where you and Jordan are like arguing outside, and the scene as we had written it was like already kind of tense. It was supposed to be kind of like an emotional breakdown, and I think we both thought of it as like really sad and a little desperate maybe, and like just kind of like breaking down and, you know, not finally having to like drop the facade, right? And Jordan kind of came up to us and was like, "Hey, I have an idea. Like, do you want me to tell you the idea?" And I was like, "No, just do it. I'm very excited. Like, what are you gonna do?" And I'm so glad you're here, Kyle. We yell action. We do the first take, and Jordan just screams, "I'm not fucking mad!"
Yeah,
so loud.
Really loud.
Blows out Kyle's
To a
ears.
microphone. It's going straight to headphones.
Yeah. Microphone here. Jordan's mouth here.
Immediately,
Headphones right here on
I
Kyle.
just-
After a
yeah.
very, very quiet scene. Turn it up. Can't hear
Yeah,
what's happening.
I'm over here, the director focusing on actors. I'm over here watching the scene like, oh my God. Evan's over here, the director
Yeah, look at
focusing on crew
Kyle.
going, oh my
His
God.
eyes are like
Yeah.
Yeah, but we, you know, he and I had talked about the character, and I knew he was bringing some stuff that Evan and I hadn't really thought of, and I was totally down with that. But he like brought a lot of anger into that scene, and it was not something I'd ever thought of, and I was like, whoa, like I think this is gonna change how the entire movie goes from here, and it did. We had to like, some of your lines got cut because just the way certain things played out were so much more intense.
Which lines?
Don't worry about it.
Wait
Don't
a
worry about it.
second.
You cut them yourself. We were we were in the car, and there was a stupid little joke you were supposed to say that was just like, oh, that's dead serious, and Calvin was
Yeah.
crying in the backseat like in character, and so you just sat there, and I was like, good job.
Yeah.
Good,
no,
you made the
I
correct
remember
call.
that, Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin was another reason things got
Yeah.
serious. He just was so embodied into the character. When bad stuff would happen, he'd just be like so sad.
Yeah, I got pretty serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like moments with you and Jordan on that second day, like were played so genuine and so sweet. We're like, this movie's different.
This
Yeah.
movie's really
Yeah.
different. This movie has a lot of heart to it. Like, not to say
Yeah.
that it's like art or anything, but it's really sweet. Like, and it changed like wholly because of it like only made it better.
100%. Yeah. No, and
Yeah, I did a great job.
No, and
Well, to
Pat yourself on the
return the
back for that
compliment,
one,
yeah, like you guys made it feel like legit, you know, like we show up, like I showed up and I was like, I'm not here to fuck around, all right, like other me, that's time for fucking around. This is serious time. This is serious acting business, you know, and but like that, you know, just to pay that compliment back, like you guys also like took it seriously and like just you guys were very professional with me too, and like even like when we were leading up to me being cast in it, like I was like, oh, like I, you know, like I respect these guys. Like I want to do a good job for them, you know.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You guys did a
Thank
good job. What was it like working together, like, and you're also a couple, so like
Yeah.
what was that like co-directing something together, like, and I'm just gonna check the recording real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's good to make sure that's still going.
Oh no, I know. Yeah.
Kyle can relate.
It's usually good to make sure, like, oh, does this thing? Oh shit!
Oh
thing
god.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you know that perfect take you just got?
Sorry.
Not so perfect.
Let's try it one more time.
Yeah.
There's been a few times where I've just like kind of more in the recordings. Now, not on a movie. Don't tell them.
Not on your movie. Not on your movie.
I'm like, yeah, let's do one more just to be safe. Like, I fucking definitely didn't hit record on that. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, they'll never know.
I would say the directing was a lot easier than the writing was.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be easier next time after directing together.
Yeah.
The writing, we mostly tried to kind of do chunks where one person was at the wheel and the other person was just like over the shoulder, being like, "What you doing?" At certain points, we'd like plug the laptop into our living room TV, so like one person would be typing, the other would just be like, "No, don't say that. Don't back up," and stuff like that. And that was kind of a learning process of learning how to just be like, "Hey, no, but you're good anyway, but still no on that specific thing." And learning how to give and take that, I guess, was the biggest struggle, probably.
Well, like we met in film school, and like one of the first things we did was like work on shorts together. Like my first like short film in film school that I was like proud of, that was like anything at all. Like you shot that and like helped me edit it and you colored it, and like that's how we met. Like that's how our whole like relationship started. And then
I know that. That's actually really adorable.
oh, thank you, Kyle.
It's actually a sweet story,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I mean, the
Like,
real first thing was being in film class together.
Oh my god. Okay,
and
yeah.
watching each other's short films, and Alex being like, "Yeah, I don't think so," and then me watching hers being like, "Yeah, that room doesn't look like someone lives there."
Yeah, that was
Nice.
the psychosexual games of film school.
Yeah.
Useful
Who's
lovers,
that?
Yeah.
They're so mean to me.
They're so mean. But yeah, like our whole relationship has been working on stuff together, and like the what was so funny about like you're like, oh, I think the directing was easier. Well, like the writing started way earlier in our relationship. Most of our relationship we've been working on this movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. So like we were still figuring out like how to be together, and then we were figuring out how to like create together.
Yeah.
Like for 4 or 5 years writing the script, and then so by the time we were having to like rewrite it in pre-production, like for your character, or like rewrite certain things, since we knew for sure we were going to be handling like the effects and stuff like that, like I feel like we had it way better down, and a lot of it just came down to learning how to communicate with each other. And yeah, the directing was a lot easier because Evan comes from a really technical background, and I come from more of a like actor focused background. Not to say we couldn't like switch and do a fine job, but like his strength is way more with communicating with like the technical teams and like communicating with lighting and audio and camera and like giving input there. And my strength is more like communicating with actors and like getting performances out of people and, you know, kind of doing that side of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys complement each other on set really well.
Well, thank you.
With that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But that, and we only knew that because we'd spent like years making short films together.
Totally. Yes. You guys had a lot of like, not, well, kind of practice, but like a lot of like background like leading up to this.
Yes.
You know, yeah, it wasn't just overnight. You guys were like, let's do a feature. You
No,
know, like,
we I mean, you know, we'd help each other on like each other's films, and then we started like co-directing and co-writing stuff. And like it always just kind of fell that way. Evan had literally all the equipment strapped to him, and then I'm over here like, okay guys, so we're getting ready for this scene. Here's what I want you thinking about for this scene. And Evan's like, hey, can we start? Can we get going?
I'd like to sit down now.
Can I sit? No? Okay.
Break a light bulb on my back. Okay, then let's not sit.
Oh, okay. All right.
What was my next question gonna be? Oh, did you wait, no, hold on. Sorry, keep talking. I forgot.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, it was really cool to get to do it at this like level and at this scale.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of trust.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing I remember now, it was it must have taken like a lot of discipline too to like you know, because he's 5 years, like, and you're working on it, writing, like you're probably coming home after work and like working on it and stuff, and like that takes a lot to like be like, all right, now that work is done, like let's do some more.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and to do it together too, like it's gotta be tough, you know. It's gotta be an endurance and a resilience to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell my boss at the day job, I'm like, well, I'm going from this work to the harder work that doesn't pay me that I have to spend money on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you've put it to me a couple times, like, because like there's no logical reason to do it,
Right.
especially we're in post-production now. Like, this has been like a year and a half of our lives of like pre-production, production, post-production, and like the whole time it's been go to your day job, go home and work. Go to your day job, go home and work. We shot this on like 4-day weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to work the entire week at my day job, be on set for 4 days, go back to my day job, be on set for 4 days.
Yep.
And it was like, yeah, it's tough. There's no logical reason to do it. Like, you could very easily not do it, but like I've talked to Evan before, and he you know, we've had this conversation many times, and he's like, the thing you always come back to is like, well, but like, why wouldn't I do it? Like,
Yeah.
like the fact that I want to means that I should do it, and if I don't do it, then why am I doing anything else? Like,
Totally. Yeah. What else are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the impulse to breathe, because if you don't, you start suffocating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. No, I know a lot of creatives that are like that. A lot of stand-ups are like that too, where it's just like, if I don't get on stage, I'm gonna be real cranky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real antsy and upset if I don't get some stage time, if I don't get the yucks out, you know. Are you guys gonna keep pizza time in the movie?
Pizza time's in the movie. Pizza time is in the movie.
It's
Yeah.
official. We can speak on it now.
Unless
Pizza time
unless
is in the
Kyle
film.
makes
In the
a
movie.
really weird
Yeah, I might
decision
take
in
some,
post production.
creative liberties in post.
Yeah, pizza time has made it into the movie.
Nice.
Yes.
Shout out
The
Calvin,
most
RIP.
important part.
May he rest in peace.
His choice
Rest
there.
in pizza.
Rest in
Okay,
peace.
so the podcast is called Stretch Yourself. It's about stretching beyond your comfort zone. Is there a time you felt stretched out of your comfort zone and you pushed past it, and like what you learned coming out the other side of that? It can be about the film, or it can be about something else recently, or something in the past. It could be anything.
I'm assuming you'd like the answer to not just be making a feature film. Maybe more specific
Sure,
than
yeah,
that.
a little bit more specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's related, but a little more specific. There was kind of a day that I'd been working as assistant director in pre-production on a film with our producer, and he was going to direct that. And it just kind of didn't work out for various reasons. Just, it fell through. We'd done so much work on it, and I'd been sitting with that for a little while. And just one day at home, it felt almost like admitting to something wrong. But I sat Alex down, and I'm like, hey, you know how we've had that script in a drawer? I just did so much pre-production learning actors. Like, figuring out where to get equipment, like all this stuff. And it feels wasted if we don't do something with that and do something with that right now. And it it felt like sitting your spouse down for like marriage counseling, where you're just like, hey, something's got to happen here. And like we just had to kind of look at each other for a while, talk it out, be like, that's a big thing to do. It seems like it will suck to do, even though it'll be great. And that was probably the biggest thing for me. I was like, we gotta put ourselves on the line here.
This is a different film.
The pre-production that didn't work out was a different film, and then this was the movie that'd been sitting in a drawer for a second.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So like, but yeah, the whole reason that we did Field of Screams, was because you had gotten so excited to work on that, and then you kind of had to make the decision. You were like, well, instead of doing a slightly easier job for that movie, I'm going to take on a bunch of responsibilities and make my own movie because I can't let all this sit here.
Well, you meet enough talented people around, you're just like, what? You got to use them. Yeah,
a lot of our cast came from that.
Yeah,
Boy,
honestly.
did you use me.
Boy, did we.
We'll give you a slice of pizza, Kyle.
Yeah, don't worry. You've got pizza money.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when things line up in a certain way, you're just like, you got to jump now or might not ever happen. Like,
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it doesn't always make sense. Like I just bought all these shirts that I definitely can't afford, but I was just like, fuck it, it's now or never, dude. I'm gonna be headlining in 3 shows this month, so I gotta have something to show, So it's just kind of like those little leaps, and it's just like, and someone put me in touch with a printer and everything, so it's just like it all just makes sense, It's like why wait any longer?
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I mean, the whole thing of it was a huge stretch for me. As Evan kind of alluded to, like, he really had to like drag me into it kicking and screaming because like I had a savings account at the time. I was paying down my credit card. I was making like $19 an hour for the first time in my life. I was like feeling really stable and like really good. And he was like, hey, I think we're going to do like the biggest thing we've ever done in our entire lives. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the more interesting answer and I think the more like affecting answer is like we were on set and there were 2 times with Jordan that like it like all of set was me like learning how to direct actors because I've mostly worked with non-actors. And so a lot of it was just a learning experience for me. But there were 2 times where I knew exactly what I wanted out of him. And I just had to figure out how to get it out of him. And to do that, I had to put myself in a very uncomfortable spot. Not like uncomfortable, but like that's part of acting is putting yourself in uncomfortable spaces and then like working with that.
Right.
And so there was one scene where we were getting a close up on him and I really needed him to get emotional. And I was like, how can I do this? And so I just decided I was going to like improv with him. Which like I'm not an actor. I don't improv. I don't do any of that stuff, but I was just like, I'm just going to do my best with him here and see if this does anything. And it worked out really well. And then the second time was like, I had a very clear idea of like how I wanted him to deliver some dialogue, what I wanted his like face to be doing. But when you're working with actors, like you can't say, do this with your face, deliver the dialogue like this. That doesn't work. That's not how people's brains work. That's not how you get good results out of people.
Right.
And so I came to the realization I was going to have to like be really mean to him with his like permission.
Right.
But like be really mean to him. And so I came up to him and I said, hey, I'm going to do something with you. Is that okay? He said, yeah. I was like, okay. Just keep it in your head. You don't have to tell me. But can you think of, a time that you really messed up, like you really fucked up? And he was like, yes. I was like, okay. And so then we just like look at each other and we did this like theater thing where you like touch hands and like count down to 10. And now you're in like the acting space.
Mhm.
And then I just like looked at him, and I like looked him in the eyes, knowing he's like thinking about this like really hard thing in his life that I don't know what it was, and just went, I can't believe you fucking let that happen. And then I walked away from him. I didn't talk to him for like the next 20 minutes. And so we spent the entire like next 20 minutes shooting, and like my stomach was turning because I hate it. I hate being mean to people. I hate I don't ever like want to talk to people like that. But I was like, if I'm gonna get what I need out of him, I need to put myself in an uncomfortable position and like put myself out there. And then as soon as we got the scene done, I like ran up to him and hugged him. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry, dude. But
I was also acting.
I was acting. I promise it wasn't your fault. But like and that feels like a weird answer because it feels really intangible and it's such a small moment.
Yeah.
But like that was such a stretch for me to like be able to trust myself and trust somebody else to be like, hey, can we play pretend right now? And can I, know that I'm going to upset you and both of us be okay with that? And that was, it feels like a weird answer, and it feels like a very small, inconsequential moment, but like it was like very impactful and really good for like stretching my ideas of like what I thought I could do with somebody else.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Is those, because it's just those tiny things where you're just like I didn't realize at the time that it was going to be a big thing for me, but like, because you kind of just got to do it. But then like in retrospect, you're like, oh fuck, like that was actually a really big moment for me. Like I'm not used to doing stuff like that, know. And sometimes it's just a moment and it's over, and then like you can go back to being normal as usual. But sometimes it's like several of those like over the course of time. But like and I feel like you balanced that pretty well with that. I feel like that would definitely would have gotten that out of me for sure. like and it's so like such a small amount of words, you didn't have to like kick the shit out of him or anything like that. That's what I would have done. I'd be like, Jordan, you and me, let's go.
Let's go right now.
I'm gonna rough you up a little bit. I'm gonna make you think about your dad and stuff. Like,
that was. Don't worry. We went there.
Yeah. Because and then that was one for me too when we had to do because I slapped him.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god.
That was great.
Tell me, you talk about the slap, because I also like talking about the slap, but I.
Okay. Yeah. No. And like, so what was it? Because in the movie, like Jordan's character, who's my boyfriend in the movie, is like, says, he's like, I'm being I'm being a team player like the whole movie, and then he says he's being just kind of a prick to me, like
he's like you're like, I don't want to be I'm not trying to be an asshole, and he goes, well, stop fucking being one.
And then like when and it's not in the script, but like when I was just in that moment, I was just like, this feels right now, and I just went pow and just like give him a little and then and Jordan played it off so good, like, and then after that you were like, after like just in that moment, like it felt good like that first time, but then every time after that I was like, oh fuck. I really set myself up here, like I gotta slap this guy 8 more times, like this is gonna be hard. But it was hard, like because you gotta like doing it once, like, and like I feel like that's why stand-up like is, I'm attracted to that, is because like you just gotta do it once, like that night. Maybe you gotta do it multiple sets or whatever, but like you just say it once and then the moment's gone, and then you keep going. But then like when you're like, the whole movie for me, like acting, like there was like a lot of like just being in front of the whole crew, and then like you gotta perform, and then like, all right, cut, and then do it again. And like even tonight, like when we started doing the ADR, like the first couple of times it was like, this is weird, but then like after a while you're like, all right, we got this, like it's pretty standard, but yeah, that was a fun moment in the movie for sure, but a little bit challenging at first.
That was one of my favorite moments, even though it was not in the moment. That was one of the times where I absolutely froze, because I was so focused.
Also because you're very good about making sure consent is being had on set and stuff, and like making sure everyone's comfortable and feels safe and stuff, and I just bring out a physical contact
out of nowhere.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, I went into this and I like to be in control. I like to like be in control of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was really focused on being in control. And so when something happened that wasn't in my control, I would just stop and I'd be like, oh my God, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And
You were stunned.
and we didn't have a stunt coordinator. We didn't
Right.
have like an intimacy coordinator.
It was you, the
Shit,
stunt coordinator.
I'm getting there. I have a small background in stunt work, so I was able to like get our stunts coordinated and done safely. And so for like all of our stunts and for anything that was like remotely intimate, I was trying really hard to like make sure everybody was safe, make sure everybody knew like the choreography, make sure everybody knew like exactly what was going to happen to them at any given point.
Yeah.
And that was super important to me. And like so like that happened and I just entirely froze. Like it was totally like against everything I'd been doing. And I just remember it's recorded in the take. It's because everyone froze. Like no one knew what to do between the crew and me because you were still rolling, and Garrett was still
Never stopped
rolling.
Yeah.
And I just went, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. And Garrett cuts immediately after that. And so the whole room was silent, and I'm just like watching the footage back, and I watch it back again, and I remember Calvin came over and he went, "Okay, I know I'm your actor right now, but I need to talk to you as your producer. You need to get him to do that again. And you need to get it with him doing it and with him not doing it. You need to do that." And I was like, okay,
Totally.
thank God. So like,
Yeah, you're like, this might not be in the movie, but we're gonna slap Jordan a couple more times.
I'm gonna
It's like
spoil it.
everyone was on board.
I'm gonna spoil it, and I think I think this is the first time I've mentioned it to you, like for sure. It's not in the movie. I know. We had just filmed everything immediately after.
Yeah.
And immediately after
Oh yeah.
that,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I'm like, that is not what just
Not the
happened.
vibe, yeah.
But what was really great, this is what was really great, and this was not something I could have done on my end. Like this was all you. The take that we use is one of the last takes that we did of that. So it was after you slapped him. And it was after I took you aside and said, hey, for this round of takes, I want you to work in 3 slaps. And I don't want you to let him know when. And Jordan knew that you were
Right.
going to slap him. So what he started doing was trying to get you to hit him.
Right.
And he would start acting out to like really try to get you to hit him in the face.
Yeah.
And so one of the takes we use is one where you don't hit him, but he's trying so hard.
Yeah,
He comes to you
yeah.
with so much more aggression, and you just have to like stare at him, and you're like, no, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction, and you like walk away.
Oh wow.
And it's a really good take. It's my favorite take.
Nice.
It's really,
All
really
right.
good.
I'm okay with that. maybe just send me the other one just for me to have.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'll make a copy for you. I'll make a copy for
Yeah,
Jordan's
maybe a
wife.
compilation where like set to a song and auto tune. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it to like,
we can make
bitch
that
better
happen.
have my money.
Kyle can get on the
Yeah.
board.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll get to work on it.
No,
Oh, yeah.
I love the slap. It was a lot of deliberating. Calvin is still very team slap.
Yeah.
But it just
Well, he's also team pizza time.
he's also
so-
team pizza time. His
One there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won that one.
Gotta pick and choose your battles. Man.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, Kyle, you got something?
Honestly,
Got something better than slap?
Hey Kyle, you got
Otherwise, we
something
gotta
better
move
than
on.
the slap?
No.
out of the comfort zone for me was working on movies. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
like,
boring answer.
Ouch. But I guess kind of doing this project and continuing to work on this and other projects with them, definitely built much more of a relationship with both Evan and Alex. Definitely kind of forced me out of my comfort zone with a skill set I had, which was audio engineering, but in a new context. I guess it kind of like in that moment I like realized it's like, okay, like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like it might look a little different, but it's like it's not that different. And I guess that moment kind of shifted a lot of things for me beyond just like working on movies and other, I guess, like audio, like post-production for like screen related stuff, but also with like bands I record and live sound. I'm like, okay, I do know what I'm doing. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's definitely just a like, I'm kind of trusting myself. It's like I have the skills. I just need to allow myself to use those, the skills that I've learned.
That's huge. Yeah.
So kind of, I guess just having a little more faith in like what I do know,
Yeah.
even if it's like something I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like just kind of, basically.
Can I step on your toes a little and ask
yeah.
Kyle a question?
Sure. Yeah.
Was there
Uh-oh.
like well, I was just curious like if there was like a moment on set where you kind of
Oh, dude, moment one.
Moment one?
The fucking first shot.
Let me get the list out.
Yeah, the
You were-
second we start, like, okay, it's time to go, and the fucking recording, like the field recorder is not working. Immediately. We've been on set for 2 hours at that point.
Yeah.
It's shit.
That's
dude.
a lot of pressure.
And it's like, all right, whatever. Just be cool, act like everything's fine. I'm like, don't worry, I'll figure it out. No fucking idea what's going on. I'm like, all right, it could be anything. Like memory, nothing's working. It's that was a moment that was okay. Once we got through that, I'm like, we're gonna be fine.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
kind of literally second, the first scene.
How'd you fix it?
Yeah, this is not working, by the way.
Yeah.
How'd you fix it?
Sam, may they rest in peace, ran to Walmart. We had some memory cards that just weren't formatting correctly,
Okay.
so we just kind of had to get some new ones. Was ultimately the solution.
Wow.
Which has been funny enough, been a reoccurring issue.
I was gonna say, I was like, I could have foreseen this problem we had the other day.
You know what? Guess what? I'm like, oh, this again. The
This
second
again.
time, yeah. As opposed to shit. I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
So
and
it's
you were in a lot of uncomfortable spots too. You had to
there was a lot of hiding, physical discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You had to hold the mic a lot. You had to you had to
hide.
go.
It's man, these lights are hot. It's
the lights.
just right next to it. It's man.
You were underneath the garden shed.
Oh
That
my
was a fun
gosh.
one,
and stuff. Yeah.
Lots of spiders.
Yeah. Speaking of spiders, we got another little friend here behind on the other shoulder, Alex. Not on your shoulder, but
Oh, he's cute. He's so big.
yeah, he's
that
a
spider suit.
you got a lot of
changed me.
different, a lot of different spider,
Different creatures down here.
Well,
Yeah.
after you get that close to them on set, you maintain
You
friendship.
bring them home.
You
Yeah.
microwave them all. They
Yeah.
make
They
babies.
they come back stronger.
All right, cool. Well, I just have a couple of short, fun questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Do you guys have a favorite road snack for the road?
Like a good cashew.
Oh, cashews. Really?
Yeah.
You're going to the gas station. You're like, where are the cashews?
I don't always find
Peanuts,
them.
get that out of my face.
Peanuts, I need something classier. Give me a cashew. And definitely some liquid. They're salty.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I so badly want to say cigarettes, but that's not. The answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been off nicotine. But
Did you
probably-
quit on set?
I tried, failed.
I think
But
he
now we're on.
quit and got back on.
Back on harder?
set. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, probably not as much a snack, but when I'm going on driving for a road trip, I gotta have a Mountain Dew Voltage. That
Yeah.
synthetic blue where it's this in no way reflects
Ooh.
anything that occurs in the natural.
Yeah.
I'm like, get me one of those.
Give me some of those
Hell
bottles of
yeah.
chemicals, baby.
Yeah, pure nothing from nature. I love
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Love that.
I'm a big hot Cheeto fan.
Oh yeah.
So the hot Cheetos limon.
Yep.
That's my go-to
Money.
road snack. Yeah.
Yep. I like hot Cheetos. I like Skittles, sour Skittles.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my go-to. Do you have a favorite time of day? In relation to anything, it could be anything.
Ooh, favorite time of day. I really like noon. I really like the middle of the day, and that's a new one for me because I currently have a job where I wake up really early and then I'm off work around 3. But I always take my lunch break around 11:30 or noon, and I always end up walking through Old Town and Fort Collins, and noon is just such a nice time where there's a good hustle and bustle, and in the summer it's really nice.
Yeah,
in
totally.
the fall it's
Especially
really
in Old
nice.
Town.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It's gorgeous 3/4 of the year. Winter sucks no matter what time of
Yeah,
day it is.
definitely. Yeah.
But I don't know. I really like when it's bright and everyone's walking around and there's kind of a good energy around.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's probably between 8 and 9 a.m.
Ooh.
because it's you're a little bit behind the very early morning risers, but you're ahead of the people that sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing's happening, and I just couple cups of coffee. That's usually when I'm working on mixing and stuff. It's kind of when I sit down and get started. It's about that time. It's very peaceful. for
Yeah.
me.
Definitely.
I love my coffee in the morning. Too,
Yeah.
so it's just great vibes all around.
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm doing for work that day, but it's either 5:30 or 7, right when I get home, and I
Mhm.
kick my socks off.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, that elastic too tight. You gotta kick it off after a long day on your
yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
Dogs out.
Get the dogs out. I really like 11 or p.m.
PM. Okay.
Yeah, if 11 p.m. on a weekend.
Ooh.
That's nice. Or similarly, like really late on a weekend, and I'm like in the middle of something, like 2 a.m. or something, and I'm like, I just wake up and I'm like, I can't sleep or whatever. I'll just do some writing or something, and like nobody's awake, like, and I can just feel that nobody's awake. Otherwise, most of the time, I wish it was a different time. I would. I'm like, God, I wish it's like 8 a.m.
Fuck.
I'm driving to work, and I'm just like, can it be like 3 and I'm like, or like 4 and I'm almost about to go? That's my other favorite time, is between 4 and 5 when my warehouse guy leaves and then I'm all alone in the warehouse, and I'm just like, it's just an hour where it's just like me time, and like that's when I do a lot of talking to myself.
Hell yeah.
I'm walking around,
Hell yeah.
figuring things out, you know. Okay, last one. Is there anything that you guys are watching right now that you really like or that you're excited about?
God.
Spiders.
I gotta be real with you. Evan and I are watching a lot of our own movie in post production.
Oh, sure, yeah. Not much time for much else.
That's it. I will say, I continue to be obsessed with The Last of Us TV show.
I'm excited for season 2.
Yeah,
coming
dude,
out
I'm
this year.
so psyched for season 2. I drew a lot of inspiration from it for like a lot of different parts of our movie. But just like independently of that, like I love that show. It's so good. It's such a good like adaptation, and it's like a fresh way of doing an apocalypse kind of show.
Definitely.
It's, I don't know. I love it to death. Every aspect of
It's
it.
so good. Yeah.
Oof, I honestly don't really. This is gonna sound crazy considering that I'm working on. I don't really watch TV or movies.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
What are you listening to right now?
Listening to a lot of different albums. Listen to lots of music.
Yeah.
Youngest Daughter just released a new EP. Check that out if you're into that. If you're not into that,
What is that?
Music, but
Oh, okay, cool, sick.
it's like a kind of shoegaze adjacent rock. I've been listening to a lot more hip hop, kind of trendy.
Okay.
By recently, I mean earlier today, we watched some of The Last of Us, so I'll probably rewatch that.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, yeah, just to say I have watched.
It was for the movie. It was for the movie. It was for sound design.
Yeah.
There was a good reason I turned on episode 3 of season 1 of The Last of Us. It wasn't for my own personal enjoyment.
That episode just heavy.
God, that episode?
So sad.
The third one?
Yeah, the third one with Bill and Frank.
Oh.
That was a big one.
Is that the one where it's just them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one specifically played a big was a huge inspiration for the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's all I need from y'all. I just need you to be two guys. I don't need you to do anything else.
Totally. Yeah. What about you, Evan?
In the same boat of also not having a lot of time to watch not our movie. Not terribly long ago, we did a movie night and me rewatched, but Alex watched for the first time, Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
It's a movie about the biopic done by Tim Burton. It's about this guy who is widely considered to be the worst director of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's shot
heavy as the crown.
Yeah. It's just shot so lovingly, and like it's just this guy trying so hard, and he has just this crew with him that's like all these misfits he found along the way, and it's just so accepting, and it's so pure and so nice, and it's just like, oh, that's what we're trying to do. So I'm just over there just like, oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
That was the last thing that really got me lately for sure.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm in a dry spell right now with stuff to watch. Like I feel like I watched everything I wanted to watch, and then right now I always kind of leapfrog to a new thing, a new show or whatever, but like I usually have like an ongoing like me and my girlfriend will watch a show together, and like we'll save that to watch together. and if there's a new season, we'll watch. Like right now, we're watching Sex Lives of College Girls
How
on
is that?
HBO. The first season is really good.
Okay.
And then what is it? I think this is the third season. The second season, it's like shot differently, and like the characters feel different, and we're like, what? Like, this doesn't feel like the same show. But then like we're watching the third season now, and it's actually like, oh, this feels right again. So
Nice.
yeah, that's the show we're watching right now. I usually have like a work show or like a personal show I watch, and I'm watching What We Do in the Shadows right now
For the first time?
for the first time.
Oh my
Yeah, all
god.
the
What
way-
season are you on?
I'm on 2 right now, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
it's really
you're in for a
good.
good time.
Yeah, it's great.
You're in
yeah,
for a really good
I really enjoy it.
That's a show I gotta check out.
You-
I've seen like scattered
absolutely.
episodes, and it's so funny.
It's very
I
funny.
gotta
Yeah,
watch that one.
yeah.
Maybe I will start a show after this.
Yeah.
That one. I like when I discover shows that already have a lot of seasons because then I can
Yeah.
watch like a ton of them.
Yeah.
And that one, and then like one that like I really love that just like is really special to me is like the Hacks on HBO.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like I wish I could say their names, which is really not feminist of me, but
Wow.
I know, but
Wow.
it's about like a older female comedian who's like, you know, she's a resident at the Vegas club, and like she's been doing it for a long time, and then basically she's getting kind of like nudged out, and then she needs to write new material to like stay relevant, so she hires a younger like Gen Z writer to like help her, and like they clash and stuff, but it's so good. It's like the writing is really good, and like the comedic experience is really represented well, I think.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks guys. Where can people support you guys and the movie, and when can people expect to watch it?
Ooh. So you can find us on Instagram at Field of Screams Film. And then
Kyle's got to look up his Instagram.
Kyle's
handle.
like, what's my handle? What's my handle?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, Field of Screams Film. And then we are it looks like we should be like available to watch on some form of VOD in May.
Yes.
Yeah.
Details are a little spotty because
Yes.
our middleman to the stars will be contacting various streaming options.
Okay.
But May is when
Yeah.
they're planning
Wow.
to-
April. Yeah,
And
April.
available.
We're doing a couple theatrical releases. We're gonna do a couple in Colorado, a couple in the Midwest, and a couple in LA, and we'll be posting about those on socials. But
That's exciting.
yeah, and then should be on VOD this summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool. Thanks for letting me do this, guys. Kyle, thanks for donating your basement with
Of course.
spiders.
Yeah, and spiders are not
Radioactive
included. Yeah.
Spiders.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, thanks for being on the show.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Stretch yourself, stretch yourself, stretch yourself.